So for this question, we know that 4 years ago Franz invested $6,000. We know that today he has $10,000. We know that if he earns the same annual rate of return, we want to know, when's he going to get to $14,000? So you really have to solve it in two steps. The first is to say, okay, if 4 years ago he invested $6,000 and today he has $10,000, what was the rate of return that's implied over that 4-year period? And given that rate of return, if he has $10,000 now, how long will it take for him to get to $14,000? So again, start with the timeline. So here we are today. And 4 years ago is when he initially invested, so you can retime these. You can set this as time 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Time 0, he invested $6,000, and it grew by 1, 2, 3 for 4 years by a certain percent. We don't know what that return is, and it became $10,000. And you can solve this algebraically, but you can also use your financial calculator. The mode isn't relevant because you don't have interim regular payments. And let me just take a step back. Why can we set up the timeline with years as opposed to half years or quarters or months? Well, we know that he invested 4 years ago in what he has today, and that can be expressed as a whole number of years. We are not given any kind of a compounding period, and we're interested in coming up with an annual rate of return, and therefore it's appropriate to draw our timeline in this fashion. So we want to figure that out. So if you set n equal to 4, PV equal to negative 6,000, we invest 6,000. 4 years later, 4 periods later, in this case a period's a year, the investment is worth $10,000. Payment equal to 0. There's no regular interim cash flows. And if you solve for I%, you wind up with 13.622%. So we know that Franz, from going from 6,000 to 10,000 in 4 years, earned 13.622%. And you can check it if you want. 6,000 times 1.13622 to the fourth. And what does that equal? Exactly 10,000. May not equal exactly 10,000. There might be slight rounding, but it'll be within a few cents. So now what we want to do is we're on to phase 2. I'll do phase 2 in green. Here we are, time 0 with 10,000, and we want to know when Franz will get to 14,000. And we want to know how many years it will take. So he'll go from 10,000 to $11,362.20. Then a year later, he'll have 13.622% more. And we basically want to know how long will it take to get here. And again, the financial calculator is a great tool for this. N is what we're going to be solving for. Again, the mode, whether it's end mode or beginning mode, doesn't matter because there's no interim payments. And since there's no interim payments, payment equals 0. PV, negative 10,000. You put in 10,000. And notice here the 10,000 was in the FE. Here it's in the PV and it's actually negative. It's as if, okay, we put in 10,000 today. We have our 10,000 today. We want to know about $14,000 in the future. What rate? It's the rate we got here. Solve for n, and you will find that it's 2.635 years to get from 10,000 to 14,000. So invested 6,000, took 4 years to get to 10, but then to get the next 4,000 to go from 10 to 14, it didn't take 4 years. It only took 2.635 because the interest rate stayed the same, but your Franz is earning more interest. You know, in year one here it was 13% of 6,000. In year one here it was 13% of 10,000. So it let him get to 14,000 even quicker.